Richmond, Petersburg, and surrounding areas. Good morning. I am welcoming you to another edition of Community Conversations, and here with me this morning is my very special guest, the executive of the city, the Honorable L. Douglas Wilder. Good morning.
Always indeed, namesake Clovia. How are you? Good to be with you.
I'm doing great. We're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about the city, and one thing you've done, regardless if we don't like the way you've done some stuff, you have taken care of the city financially. Right. And now we're going to jump into the budget and how you feel that we need to tighten up as a city. So let's run through some stats.
That's exactly right. What I want to do is to be certain that we can continue to take care of our people. And I need to say to you that we have tightened up in terms of the amount of money. We have cut our real estate tax 15 cents in the last 3 years. 15 cents, unheard of heretofore. When you look at surrounding areas, they are not talking about anything like that. Some of them are even talking about raising taxes. In Prince William County is talking about a 28% increase. Fairfax County is talking about borrowing $30 million from transportation. Now, you got some people on city council saying, oh, we need to cut it some more. Well, you can't cut it anymore and provide services. The only monies that the city gets are from the revenues of real estate. If we've cut it 15 cents in 3 years, cutting it further means you're cutting to the bone. You're not going to be able to provide the services which you never provided to senior citizens. You never provided to young people. You never provided for people to clean up a jail or to make certain that the jail is not there for just these $100 offenses that you saw in the newspaper this morning. You're not going to provide the services for youth and parks and recs to be able to have these things. Oh, but you can give $30 million of that money to the Performing Arts Center. You can raise the meals tax for those people. Don't cut the services to the people. So it's unfathomable to suggesting altering the tax rate as we are facing challenges to keep services continuing as the current level for our citizens. And we're going to do that.
We noticed city council versus the city administration, 26.3% versus 4.8%.
Yes. And that means that they are talking about increasing spending there. You see, it's a trick bag. Oh, we're going to cut the real estate tax for the people, and we're saving some money. And at the same time, we're going to see if we can increase some more positions for ourselves. And that's why you see that stat there, 36.3% in terms, 26.3%.
Versus 4.8%.
4.8% in terms of what we're doing. But my whole thing is this. Richmond has never really taken care of all of its people. They've taken care of some of its people. Now you got some on city council that will tell you, oh yes, we have. When? Name it. What and where?
Since taking office 2005, you've emphasized that more than $330 million has been saved so far in one-time and ongoing savings. And you have, you're running down the list of stuff, $49 million for public safety building lawsuit, $32.5 million for debt refinancings, and going on and on and on. For public view.
For public view, the things that a city council, the city council, any city council never did, never looked at it. The Marshall Plaza across the street, we had paid over close to $40 million to rent property that should have been ours. It was ours, but we had to give it up in a settlement of a lawsuit because a city council didn't want to have another hotel downtown, the Hilton Hotel. Can you believe that? So we were paying the money. We were giving them free parking, free security, free utilities. So I said, wait a minute, why don't we buy it? City council had missed the deadline for buying it, and the city attorney had missed the deadline for buying it. So they started, for the option of saving money, they started pointing fingers at each other. I got on the phone and called the lawyer and said, look, you and I will sit down, we can talk, we're going to settle this ourselves. And we did settle it, and we bought it and saved money. City council that agreed to spend what would have amounted to about $70 million to fix up the old public safety building, because they had agreed to say, oh, we consent to the decree and fix it, and judge, don't do this. The judge said, I'm going to hold all of you in city council in contempt of court for not having done it. And then that's when they said, well, let's sue the mayor. They sued me because they think, yes, Big Daddy can handle it, and Big Daddy did handle it. Came in and saved at least $34 million and moved the courts where they should be over in Manchester, in South Richmond. retrofitting that entire thing. I could go on and on with the money we've saved, total some $330-some thousand, $1 million, millions of dollars. But more importantly, if you cut the tax rate now and talk about funding for schools, where's the money going to come from for the debt service? When the bonding and the rating agencies are going to say, wait a minute, where is your fund balance? And I can tell you, so far, you'll find that the $137.5 million was due to the improvement in funding our retirement system and reducing long-term post-employment health liabilities. $1.5 million due to the Marriott. We say, hey, no, we're gonna cut that off. $9 million due to the redevelopment at 6th Street Marketplace. And then, as we talked about some other things relative to this regional jail that we have. Bottom line, Clovia, is this. Money runs politics. I don't care how you cut it, whether state, federal, local. But you can't do it without money. And so when people say they want services, how are you going to provide? Our senior citizens, the impact on them not having opportunities to get services. Transportation. If City Council cuts the rate some more, how are you going to have GRTC? We have to fight to even get Amtrak people on the bus to get them in some portions of Henrico. And we don't have the regional cooperation we should have relative to transportation in Chesterfield, in Henrico, and in a number of places. Gas rates are going up, so you got to pay for the fleets, whether it's police, fire, ambulance. This is no time to talk about cutting. It's a time to talk about stop spending as much as people intend to spend. But don't cut off the essential services to the people, all of the people.
All of the people.
Right, and that's not been done.
And we're talking in reference to social services.
Social services, young people, older people. There is not a single public housing project in any of the counties. All of them are in the city of Richmond. People have vouchers that come from around the country to live in public housing in Richmond. That means the services then go up as to providing for health, transportation, infrastructure, sewer, you name it. No public housing in any other county, none in Henrico, none in Chesterfield. All of it here. Because it was never built there. So when people are moving from other areas around the country, they get what is called vouchers that you get in line. And wherever there's a vacancy in public housing, you can go in. Take a test of it. Go into some of these places in Richmond. You'll find people, oh, we just moved here. We just got here. Now, I am not saying throw these people out, but I am saying that we have a disproportionate burden in the city of Richmond. That's why in many instances, crime is impacted, but we've reduced it to its lowest rate in 26 years. And how? Because I did not cut off the funding for our police. To the contrary, the city council every year cut the chief's funding and his budget. And I put it back. And I want to veto any measures that talk about cutting funding for public safety.
Richmond City gets a facelift with housing in downtown Richmond. It's part of our economic development, the Hilton.
Part of the economic development is the Hilton. When you look at what's happening with the National Theater, when you look at what's happening with the Carpenter Center, that was failed. Even though they gave all the money, they couldn't account for it. I had to take it over. They got a new board. Once they got the new board, we had a new structure. They raised additional money. Now things are going on downtown. Look at what's happening from Broad Street, on Broad Street from up to Belvedere, all the way on down. Doug Jamal has come in the block where Standard Drugs is. All the way on down that entire block, it's going to look differently. You see people working out there. You see a changing of the face. And people are free now to say, hey, look, we can walk around. Our plan that we are going to develop on the boulevard for, yes, in New Diamond, but also other businesses. We've got 6 people, consulting groups, development groups, national groups, that have already said, look, Richmond's the right place. We want to do it. We want to get it up. And yet, you know, something is interesting. That's why it's good to take time to talk on your show.